Hello everyone, welcome back again to Angela's Craft Room. Today I've got this card for you using the Animal Outing stamp set. It's a really cute stamp set and I'm finding I'm using it an awful lot and I really love it. So I just want to share this card today that I created using the kangaroo and the koala in its pouch. But today, the card that we create, I'm going to use the giraffe just for something different, and the layout will be a little bit different. So I've used the Stampin' Up blends to do my colouring, and now I've got I've got all the new colours, so it's I'm really enjoying using them. So I thought I'd just show you how I created this card. Now, as well as using the Animal Outing stamp set, I also used the Animal Friends Framelits, which I just really enjoy using. That's why I was able to cut the kangaroo out so easily. And today we'll be using I've used the giraffe one and the little leaf one that has the frog on top of the leaves. So that's the products that I'm using today. And also I've used the some of the Animal Expedition DSP, which is really cute. I've used heaps of it. I'm going to have to get some more because I'm just using it all the time. So, and also how I did this frame, I just wanted to explain for those that don't realise how to make a frame like that. All you have to do, like I'm just going to randomly pick from my layering squares. So just say you had two frames, you had your cardstock and you pop your two frames together like that, and you just pop that through the big shot, and then you will come out with a frame like this. And then you'll also have, just grab it, you'll also have a solid piece. So when you've cut it out, you'll get a solid piece and you'll get a frame like that. So just so you know how I've made the frame, because I've done a little bit of it ahead of time because we need to colour a little bit. So we'll get started. Excuse me. Now I'm going to use, my base is going to be crumb cake, and that's 11 inches long by 4 1/8 of an inch wide, and then scored at 5.5. And then I took a piece of Whisper White and I stamped my giraffes down the bottom here with using my Stamparatus, and then I just adhered it to the inside of the card. Now that piece measures 5 1/4 inches by 3 7/8 of an inch. And then what we're going to do is I took a piece of Blackberry Bliss and I ran it through my Big Shot using the Woodlands embossing folder, and that piece also measures 5 1/4 inches by 3 7/8 of an inch. So I might just set the base aside for a minute because we're going to be layering on this piece of Blackberry Bliss. So what I want to do, I've got a little swirly like framelit, an edge framelit, and you can use whatever you want. You could even just cut that, just draw a line and cut it. So I just have to figure out where I want that to be. So I'm just going to line that, just turn this over, just line it up on one of the lines so I know that I'm going to have it straight. So that's DSP, is from that Animal Expedition DSP. And then I took a piece of real red, and this is where I need to work out, because I can't put the real red down first and then that underneath because it's going to be glued. So you've sort of got to work backwards with your layers. So you've got to start, I've got to start at the top here. So that needs to go down first about there. So I'll just turn that over and I'm just going to glue that down. So I want that to be, I want it to show a little border of the Blackberry Bliss at the bottom. So that needs to go about there. And I'm just going to line it up with the line on the other side, the same grid line. Like that. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'll just line that up on a line underneath there. So just, you could put this up on dimensionals if you wanted to, but I've got another tutorial in mind that I'm going to show you, more of a 3D card using this same stamp set. So I will just glue this down flat. So just line that up. So then I just need to make sure that I'm covering the corner of that piece there. I most probably should have just come down a little bit there. So I'll just bring it up to the third grid square. So then I'm just going to glue that down there like that. So it's just about layering really. So it's just a bit of a different sort of card to do. And then I'm just going to put, I've got a piece of the Animal Expedition, and I'm just going to put that across there like that, because I've got a frame that I'm going to put on, but I just have to work out how I'm going to do it, because I've got two giraffes already cut out that I want to put on. I want to put inside that frame, and I just have to work out how I'm going to do that, because I don't want them just sitting. just don't want them sitting on the frame like the kangaroo, because it's not a full giraffe, it's just from the neck up. So I've just put that rectangle piece across there like that. I'll just grab a cotton bud, just a little bit of glue seeping out of there, that's all right, it will dry clear. So that's layered so far, so I'm just going to put that to the side, and I'm just going to bring in our giraffe. Okay, now I'm just going to use one of the new colours. I'm going to use the soft suede. So I'll just zoom in a little bit while I just do this little bit of colouring. It doesn't take long. Now I'm just doing the, make sure I got the right one. I'm just using the light, and I'm using the brush end, but I'm hardly touching that at all because it's quite narrow, and I am no artist by any means, and I just find these using these blends so easy. So once you've done the sides, it's quite easy to do the face. So I'll just come in and do his nose. You just got to take a little bit of time. And I most probably should have coloured one before coming on camera. Now I'm going around his, it's not really spots, just around his markings there, because I'm going to do those in the dark crumb cake. And when I come down to the last one, what I do is I just literally let it go right off the, so I'm colouring all the cardstock. So I'm just going around and then just flicking up to fill in those bits. I did use the giraffe on another card, and I did do quite a bit of blending on it, which I won't do on this one because of time with the video. But the artist has really done all the hard work for us, because shows us like we're in the dark areas where we need to add our shade, our light and shade, which is really good for people like me that have a problem knowing where the light should be. So then we'll just grab this one and do exactly the same. So I'm trying really hard not to go outside that line, but I just noticed I did. So with his ears, what I find the easiest is just to do the middle of his ear, and then just the ink seems to just spread itself out to the edge. without going outside the lines if you're careful. But you can see with the blends how easy it is to colour with them. With the kangaroo, I did a lot more blending. It's a lot larger image to colour. And the same as the rhino, I did quite a bit of blending with that one. So I'm just going round those, just do this side. And these markers are just so juicy because they're just so new. But I literally don't colour with anything else anymore. I don't colour with pencils or anything. I use my blends for everything. And I do have a carry case for them. One important thing, it is very important how they are stored. You must not have them vertical, because if you do, they, I'm talking and I'm trying to concentrate at the same time. If you have them vertical, like standing straight up and down, like that, what happens is the alcohol inside the marker will run to one end, and you take the chance that it might dry it out. So they must be stored lying down, like so, like that. That's how they have to be stored. Now I'll just do this one. So then I'm just going to get the colour lifter, because I noticed I went outside the line just very light. I most probably could have not worried about it, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And this doesn't erase the colour. What it does, it pushes the colour back inside the line. Now I'm just going to take the dark one, and we're just going to do those spots, even though they're not really spots, they're markings more than anything. And I've hardly got I'm hardly touching, just the tip of it, of the marker is touching, because they're so juicy. You hardly ever have to touch it at all, especially in a small area like this. Now I need that colour lifter again, because I just along his neck there, I just went outside a little bit. And just a little bit on that side. Then I'll just do the ones on this side. I'm just not talking at the moment because I just don't want to go outside those lines. Just one more to go. And that will do for the video. I'd be a bit more particular if it wasn't the video. And the other thing I need to colour is just this little guy here. Is the leaf. I've already coloured one. So I'm just using the mint macaron. And what I find easiest is just to go down the centre of the leaf and then just sort of just go over to the edge very carefully. But I find by going down the centre rather than trying to do the edge straight away, I find that I'm not going outside the lines. And these leaves are very tiny. So it doesn't take that much ink to colour them. I bought the original blends when they first brought them out, and those colours are still very juicy. So that's the mint macaron. And then what I grabbed was another one of the new colours is Granny Apple Green, and I just did my little frog in him, and I just did like little circles on his body and then just went out to his legs, and then you literally do a spot in each eye because it's just so tiny. And you can put I'll just zoom back, and you can you can add a bit of Winker Stella to that as well. So we'll bring this back in now that we've done our colouring, and what I'm going to do is I want to have this frame. Just got a bit of a fray on the frame. I'll just get that off. I just want to have a bit of a frame, bit of a sort of overlapping the DSP into the real red colour. And then I did work out the layout, but it's always different when you go to do it. Actually, I think I had him, that's right. So I need that one to go. Actually, this one's better coloured. I'll have him. Like that. and then I'll have this one so I'm thinking what I might do is grab some mini dimensionals I'll grab some mini dimensionals, just put the glue up, and put them on the back of this frame, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to, hopefully you can't see that from the front. Because if I'd glued this down, I wouldn't have been able to get my giraffes underneath. So I'm just going to put one in the middle on each side. Slippery little devils, trying to get that backing off. Oh, I think I'll forget that one. And even though they're the mini dimensionals, I'm just going to snip a bit off of it because it's proving to be quite difficult to get them on without I don't want it to be seen on the other side. So I think even though they're mini dimensionals, I still tend to feel maybe I can get away with just, what I think I'll do is just put those dimensionals on the four corners instead of fiddling around. And then that's just going to stick down like that, and that'll be fine. And then that way I can slide like this one So I'm going to put a large dimensional under his head, and that's mainly just to support his head. It's not the fact that I want him to pop up. And I'm going to add some glue to the bottom part of his body. And you'll see what I mean once I just add a little bit of glue like that, because I want him to sit right up high. And then if I hadn't put that dimensional under there, his head would have just been sitting in the air. So it's just supporting like that. And then we're going to pop So I'm going to put dimensionals under this one. So one under his head. And I'm just going to cut a bit off of this dimensional, even though it's the full size one. Take the backings off of there. I really didn't think this was going to be that detailed a card, but it's turning out that way. Right, so then we just need a little bit of glue there, but I most probably should have put one more dimensional just on his neck. So I'm just going to have him sitting there, and I'm quite happy with how that's sitting like that. And then I've got the sentiment together we make a great pair, and I'm just going to pop that up onto dimensionals. And pop it onto my piece of Blackberry Bliss square. And I'm sorry if this tutorial's gone on a bit too long, but I had everything pre-cut. I most probably should have pre-coloured as well, but anyway. Now I was going to put that up there like that, and I've got one of these which I'm not sure, which I think I might I'm just going to glue this one down. So I've got quite a few elements on this card. I just thought I'd do it a bit differently than I did the kangaroo one, because I just thought it'd be a bit nicer. So I'll want him right over on the edge there. And it's just a little bit of glue there, but that'll just dry clear. And then we're just going to pop, we're just going to pop that up on there, which I'll just use some dimensionals to do that. So I'm just going to put 4 of those on there. And once again, I do apologise for the video going too long. So these are coming off quite quickly for me, which is good. And then, so I hope that this helps you see how to use the stamp set Animal Outing and the Framelits Animal Friends. So then we're going to just grab our card like that, and because it's got some embossing there, we need to get right into those edges or it will not adhere to your card. So where it's really indented on your embossing, I'm just putting a bit of extra glue there, and then I just have to go down all four sides So we've just got to do the bottom, and then we can pop that on our card. So just try and pop it down as straight as you can, remembering Tombow will let you move it to a certain degree. But I really think those colours do go well. That's Crumb Cake, Blackberry Bliss, and some real red, and then just a touch of Whisper White there. But there are quite a few layers there, as we've found out, as we've gone ahead and done the card. So just press down, especially on those bits that are embossed, because they do need a little bit of extra pressure. And that's your card for today, using the Animal Outing. So I think that turned out quite well after a bit of fiddling around. And you could actually even put another leaf in there if you want to, but I don't think I will. Think that's fine as it is. So this was the original one with the kangaroo, and we've done a bigger frame, and this one that we've done today is using the giraffe images coloured in the Blends alcohol markers. So thank you for joining me today for this video, and thank you for subscribing to my channel, and until next time, happy crafting.